Hi, welcome to Well Connected Wednesday. My name is Dr. Jess Zabrowski. I'm a nurse practitioner at Secoya Health in Woodbury. I'm coming to you live today to tell you a little bit about myself and what we do here at Secoya. So you might be wondering how I got to where I am here at Secoya, and I'll just share a little bit about myself with you. I had worked as a bedside nurse for years, transitioned into a nurse practitioner where I was working in various clinic settings. And one of the challenges that I faced often in traditional healthcare was in my reviews, often I would get feedback about how patient feedback is so strong, but then I was always dinged for not meeting metrics for number of prescriptions written, or not managing blood pressure or diabetes. And that really spoke to me because I personally don't think that those conditions are always measured correctly. If somebody's feeling good, I think that it's working with that individual and meeting what their needs and desires are. And so for me, I knew that traditional healthcare setting isn't a good fit. And I got into some teaching and then found Secoya Health and just love the atmosphere here. We are able to meet people where they're at. We're not measured by or restricted by insurance. And we're just helping people live their best life, which is what I'm all about. I love working with young families, people with children. I also love working with women and aging adults, so kind of a lifespan, but I really enjoy when people come in and they're full of energy and zest. They might have some complaints that they haven't been able to figure out, so like fatigue or loss of energy, or maybe they're not sleeping their best. I love to help just tweak things a little bit so that you feel better, get to sleeping better, and overall get to feel better. So I want to tell you a little bit about what direct primary care is. Direct primary care is it's a membership style service that you're able to receive here in the clinic, where you get full access to me as your provider, and we don't work with insurance, so we're not limited by what insurance is offering. I want to share with you a little bit about why direct primary care is so important to me and my family. I have 4 kids, and one of them is always not well, but I was challenged with moving to a new area. We were relocated from a different state, and we hadn't established, it was post-COVID, and I didn't know where to take my child. I looked up all the urgent cares. They were all busy and booked. We didn't have a primary care provider. I wasn't sure if we were in network or out of network when we would go. So I was just feeling stuck as a parent. And being a nurse practitioner, it was super frustrating and challenging to me to not have that resource. And I know that several people across the United States struggle with that same thing. And so I signed our family up for direct primary care because I wanted to know that I always had that person in my back pocket that I could call when I had a need. And if my kid is not feeling well, I'm stressed and frustrated. I want to bring comfort and know that there's a solution, that I can get an answer as quickly as I can. And so I like to think about direct primary care is that quick answer, that ace in the pocket, if you will, somebody who's there for you when you need them. Set it and forget it sort of thing, so that when you're on the go and you have a sick child, you can get your needs met. So I've got this individual that I've been working with in the clinic, and as a new direct primary care participant, she came in with some concerns about fatigue, maybe some hormonal concerns, and we did our initial visit. We had a follow-up and we didn't see any improvement. We did a little bit of lab work and some troubleshooting, and we identified some underlying issues that she had, and it was like her face cream was causing her hot flashes and hormones to flare. And after we resolved that, she stopped using the face cream, her hormone situation improved, but the sort of the icing on the cake was then we started offering some adrenal support after she did a lab, and she went on a great vacation for like a 25th anniversary and had a great time, had no stress, slept and felt well. And so that's what fuels my soul. So now we want to give you some tools that you can use when interviewing or looking for a provider for yourself.
Hi, I'm Anissa. I'm the clinic manager here at Secoya, and I'm going to help Dr. Jess. We're going to do a workshop together, a little role play about interviewing your healthcare provider.
Yeah.
All right. So first, I just want to talk a little bit about how the expense of healthcare, why it's important, why you need to interview your provider. Because when we invest in something, we should get our needs met.
Yep,
right?
Absolutely.
So, Dr. Jess, if you were going to book a vacation and work with a travel agent, what kinds of things would be important for you?
Yep. So I always say like the value. So whatever they're asking for in payment, that there's value to me as the individual receiving that work. They're timely in responses. They're communicative, if I'm saying that correctly. So they're telling me and kind of holding my hand, if you will, through the process so that I can understand what it is I'm paying for and what I'm receiving and what the outcome will be. And then the follow-up. Love to be followed up with and find out if I had a great time after I booked with them.
Yeah, excellent. So just like if I were to work with a travel agent or a coach, I'm investing money in them, so I should make sure that my needs get met as well. So how much money are we really investing in health insurance is the question. So I got my calculator here, and Dr. Jess and I are going to just talk about, so Dr. Jess, when your family has health insurance, how much do you pay each month in premiums?
Yep, it's $900 a month.
Okay, so you have a family of four kids, I should say.
Yep.
And that's $900 a month. So times that by 12 months, each year you're paying $10,800 just for the premiums. Not for if someone has an incident, no copays, nothing, no prescriptions, just premium.
Yep.
So what does it look like for a deductible?
Yep. So we have a $5,000 deductible per person.
So let's say that one kid, you know, breaks their arm this year. It happens, right? That means that you would be paying all your premium, $10,800, plus the $5,000 deductible. So that potentially could be $15,800 plus, right? If someone else has an incident, they got their own deductible.
Right.
So minimally, you'll be paying $10,800.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
If I don't have a family of four, but if I was on insurance, just the coverage, just to say I have insurance, is about $250. And then, of course, there's a deductible on top of that. So everyone's situation is a little bit different. But let's just estimate that you're going to be about $15,800 in 1 year for your healthcare expenses through health insurance. But let's flip the switch and say, let's say we signed your family up for DBC at Secoya. So we cap our families at 300. Even though Jess has 4 kids, we don't. For a single family unit, you're capped at 300. So let's time that by 12. So you would be paying about $3,600 per year in DPC.
Beautiful.
All access to your provider. Love that. So we partner with Zion Health Share, and that's a catastrophic coverage. They basically prevent financial ruin from health incidents, right? So they have an IUA, which is like when you have an incident, you pay X amount, and then they have a monthly fee as well. What was your family for Zion?
It was going to be $250 a month.
Okay, so 250 times 12. So you would be paying for catastrophic coverage, just that security, about $3,000. Let's say you had an incident and you picked the middle IUA, which was $2,500. So catastrophic coverage with one incident, about $5,500. Let's add that to your DPC membership for your family, which is $3,600. It's about $9,100 per year. So that's still less than your premium.
It totally is.
With health insurance.
Yes.
But you're getting so much more.
Yeah.
So one thing to consider is that we are clearly paying a lot for our health insurance or our health coverage outside of that. It's not to be discounted that either. So it's important that your provider aligns with you and works with you. How do we find a provider that aligns for us to match our investment? So one thing that, like I talked to Jess about the travel agent scenario, is looking into your values, right? Me as a person, what do I value in my healthcare? So I'm just going to speak from personal experience and what I value. I value time. my time is important to me. I don't want to wait weeks and weeks and weeks to be seen if I have an urgent issue, right? I don't want to have to go to urgent care because my primary care is not available to see me.
Right.
That's frustrating to me. It's an additional cost. So time is something I value.
Mm-hmm.
I value people with a listening ear that aren't judgmental. What other things do I value convenience. I would say that's definitely kind of goes hand in hand with time, but I want it to be easy. I don't want it to be challenging.
Yeah.
So time, non-judgment, convenience. All right, so those are my values, and I would encourage you to write down what values you have and think about, talk with your family, your spouse, about different things that you value. Maybe you value somebody who's able to provide more holistic care, that they are able to kind of look outside of the box. That's another value. Or value somebody that doesn't do a bunch of prescriptions but can if necessary, because there's a time and a place for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So those are some values to consider. Once I got my values down, I get to turn to my provider and I get to kind of drill her with some questions, just like if I were interviewing, working with a travel agent or a coach or anybody like that.
Yep.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So let's have a consult.
Yep.
Nice to meet you, Dr. Jess.
Nice to meet you, Anissa.
I'm Anissa. So I just have a few things that are really important to me in my healthcare, and it's important to me that my healthcare provider aligns with that. So I'm curious, as far as like how easy it is to see you, does it take weeks? Can I get in same day? Can you tell me more about that?
That's a great question. So oftentimes here at Secoya, when we're working with individuals, we see you the same day. And if we aren't able to get you in same day at a time that works out for you, we'll get you scheduled the next day. And that's something that's part of our mission as primary care, is to be able to serve the population that we're working with. So we also value your time, and we also try to make it convenient. So if we can't get you into the clinic, we can even do a telehealth visit, a phone visit, or you could just send us a message, and if it's something that we can handle just through text or email, we'll do that as well.
Okay, cool. So another thing is, it's kind of hard to share, it's a little bit vulnerable, but I had an experience with a primary care provider, and I just felt really judged. We were talking about some women issues, and that was just really frustrating for me. I was younger than I am now, wasn't maybe advocating for myself. So can you tell me more about the clinic here and the staff, and what is that like as far as being open to whatever I choose to do with my health?
Sure. I would say that here at Secoya, Anissa, like one of the most important values that we have is to make sure that we are providing non-judgmental healthcare services. And so that means from the time you walk in the door to the appointment and when you're leaving, we're not judging you. We're going to meet you where you are, ask you lots of questions. We might challenge you a little bit and ask for a little bit more information, maybe about what's going on or why you're feeling the way you are. But we really are passionate about serving you and making sure that you're getting care that you need. But also we try to set goals in each appointment, and so we try to keep you accountable to those goals too. So we might challenge you a little bit. So yes, non-judgmental care. One of the biggest focuses is that, my job is really not to diagnose you here at Secoya with a condition, with a disease, a condition, because that's what we do in the traditional healthcare system. We have to label everybody with a condition so that everything is coded, and we just don't have to do that here. We just focus on you and like how to help you feel your best, and so I love that.
Yeah. So you kind of touched on this already, but I want to make sure, as far as my value of convenience, that you guys are available via text or after hours. Can you tell me more? How accessible are you?
Yep. So we do close typically at 6 p.m., but then after hours, I have an app on my phone. And so we do have a separate number that when you do sign up as a DPC member, we go through that with you and ensure that you know how to access the clinic. I typically I'll let participants know here in the clinic that I'm usually up till 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So if there's an emergency that happens after that, I always direct people to go to the emergency room. But otherwise, I would get back to them at my earliest convenience.
I appreciate
So,
that. I think we would be a good fit.
Yeah, good.
Just a personal story.
Yeah.
My boyfriend cut his hand. Must have been like about 6 weeks ago or a few weeks ago.
Yep.
And my first call was Dr. Jess. I was like, Dr. Jess, Alex cut his hand. I think we need stitches. What should we do?
Yeah.
And you know, she was available. And if that was a DPC member, you would be just as available
Yeah.
for them to call you and say, hey, is this something we can do? Do I need to go to urgent care? You know,
Yeah.
where are we at? And now we have sutures. So if you need, if you need stitches, Dr. Jess is able to do that under some conditions. So I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, I appreciate your time too, Anissa.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yep. If you're looking for more information about direct primary care, please check out my podcast with Cynthia. If you're interested in signing up for direct primary care, please click the link below and or call the clinic to set up a consult. Thank you for joining us for Well Connected Wednesday. We are here for you.